Men Guide Store is the world's leading sex toy retailer. Visit now, menguidestore.com, to receive more incentives. Hello, I'm Jimmy from the Men Guide channel. Do not forget to click on the subscribe button to follow us and keep up to date on the latest videos. 3 reasons why women love having cunnilingus orgasms. Oral sex is no longer a social taboo restricted only to prostitutes and sailors on shore leave. A poll done recently in the US showed that more than 55% of young people use oral sex regularly during foreplay. Even though the majority of the population regularly engage in oral sex, it still seems to be treated as a bit of a secret. You don't see it depicted in mainstream movies very often, and even though you will see heaps of sex depicted in advertising, you never seem to see oral sex in advertising. I heard a story from a sex therapist who told of a couple she was treating, and when the topic of oral sex came up, the women asked if they had to have oral sex. Needless to say, she wasn't into it. However, there is some good news. For the couples that are into it, or at least give it a go every now and then, it's a great way to ensure she has an orgasm. Need more proof? Statistics show that only 35% of women have an orgasm purely from penetration with a penis, but more than 80% experience an orgasm purely from cunnilingus. Why is oral sex so good for women? There are a number of reasons for why it's so good for women. However, there are 3 main ones that every man should be made aware of. A soft tongue says a lot. Most men learn about erotic touch and masturbation by touching themselves. They don't seem to realize that men's and women's bodies are built differently and therefore react differently. When learning to give herself an orgasm, a woman tends to use a softer touch. This is what men need to keep in mind when performing oral sex on a woman. B. Wetter is always better. One of the main reasons women love oral sex so much is because saliva is such a great lubricant. It's always wet and is always applied warm. Men seem to think their hands and fingers will do the trick as well. Guys, have you looked at your hands lately? They tend to be dry and rough and are therefore not as comfortable when touching the delicate parts of a woman. Therefore, if you are going to have a lot of foreplay, using a lot of lubricant when touching her will make it so much more pleasurable for her. C. Communication. When performing oral sex on her, if you are really getting into it, your mouth will be too busy to talk much. However, that doesn't mean that there doesn't need to be communication between the two of you. Good cunnilingus involves a lot of communication that is nonverbal. When performing cunnilingus, her body is always making tiny adjustments to let you know that you have to get in sync with her. Her hip and waist movements will give you the best clue, so read her movements. By doing this, an earth-shattering orgasm is almost assured. The good thing about this is that once you learn to read her movements, intercourse can also be improved. With regards to communication, why not return the favor for her? Using nonverbal clues, such as moans or grunts, to let her know when she is doing something that you really like. Pretty soon, she will too learn your movements and adjust her technique accordingly. When you discover something she really enjoys during oral sex, you should be able to apply it to normal intercourse. Understanding her body and her movements is the main key to giving her the greatest orgasms of her life and making her think you are an absolute sex god. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like and share this video with your friends. See you in the next video. Welcome to the Men Guide Store. Get 100 discount codes up to 20% on all products today. Limited quantity only for 100 people. For more details, please visit www.menguidestore.com.